And we're here with yet another special guest, the last one of the day. We saved the most special guest of all till the end. Let us introduce yourself, most special guest.
We surprised him too.
I'm
you guys
Jason Denlinger of Vintage View. That's about all there is. I love photos. That's my main specialty. So if you like photographs,
Everybody's saying
kind
hi.
of a cool guy to follow.
And kind of stunned today, I came here and you're wearing tie-dye.
Never. I never wear tie-dye.
Just for the show.
I live in tie-dye
Even
7
his
days a
name
week.
tag has been tie-dyed or something.
Even my name tag is tie-dyed. The girls down the way here, they especially
See, I have a plain name tag.
they do people's name tags for $1.
Oh,
They're
really?
enterprising young ladies.
Oh,
and mine
I'm
has
gonna have
cats.
to go get
Mine has
my name
cats
tag
colored.
done up.
So, because I love cats. So.
Tickets just wants to know if you have any Grateful Dead photos.
I do, but I actually just gave the best ones to my wife for Valentine's
Yeah, I
Day.
was gonna say I think he
'Cause she's
collects
a-
Grateful
yeah,
Dead, so
I
don't
won't be
think
selling any Grateful Dead
anything's going out of.
So Vintage Views is the name. You sell photos apparently.
Occasionally I do.
And I know we've all learned a lot from you on the EPH talks that have been over that Schmidt and Penguin Boss have brought over there as well, giving a lot of knowledge. And you're always very, very willing to share your knowledge. I've reached out to you a few times and asked you questions as well, and you've been very, very gracious with your time. And we all definitely do appreciate that as well.
Thank you.
And we worked out a deal, and I'm going to tell you, this is something that if you're not a dealer, you don't understand. Throughout the time talking with you and watching your shows and the like, I came across a photo album that I thought was a decent photo album, and I literally sent it to Jason here and said, "You got stuff for me? We'll figure it out afterwards." And honest to God, in my head, when I sent it out, I said, probably a couple of $100 photo album.
Yep.
I came by, he goes, "I got the stuff for you, we'll take $100 off," which he talks all the time, he'll pay 50%.
I pay half of what I'm going to sell it for, and I sold it for $200 here. So,
yep. And that's one of those things that when you do get into the dealer network, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love. I don't know if I would be that trusting if we were in the Pokemon world, or if we were in the Funko Pop world.
yeah, this is a tighter knit community and a little more trustworthy community.
Absolutely.
You're not going to find many scammers in the ephemera and photo world.
No.
You're just not.
No, and that's the beautiful thing about it. The fact that I said, look, I'm just going to send it. You'll be fair with me. And I had in the back of my head what I thought it was worth. I'm not a photo guy. You could have told me it was a $50 album, and I wouldn't know enough knowledge what it is about. And absolutely, you came spot on with what I thought it was worth. And you're like, here's what it's worth. I'm like, perfect, absolutely perfect. Very, very happy about that as well. So certainly, if you have any albums, photos, things like that, reach out. I know he's buying all the time. Certainly, pays fair. I can attest that he pays fair. Absolutely can attest that. And he put together a nice ephemera lot for me because that isn't a Vintage View, so it's not what he deals in. And he gave me a good volume of stuff that I'll be bringing over to Whatnot. In fact, I've already put I think 3 or 4 auctions up yesterday at the hotel room out of the stuff that he gave me.
Goodness.
So,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
we got
Always
this
working.
stuff up.
Nice.
We have to. So we got that stuff up there as well. Any tips for people out there with collecting overall? Now, everybody, of course, knows the old stuff is, oh, it's a tin type, it's this, it's that. What about like the world of Polaroids and that kind of stuff? Is that getting more collectible?
It's definitely become more collectible, and with anything in photographs, it's all subjective. Value is subjective. It's worth what someone's willing to pay for it. If someone loves it, say you see a photo and you go, "That's really cool. I would have no problem paying $10 or $15 or $20 for that." More than likely, there's someone else out there that is willing to pay that too. So, you have to look at it like that. Just look at things. If you think it's cool, more than likely someone else out there will too, and it's usually a safe bet. But yeah, newer photographs have become more collectible because Polaroids are vintage now.
Yes, they are.
Polaroids are over 25 years old for the most part. So Polaroids are vintage photography.
Now, I'm going to show ignorance here, which I do quite well. I come from Rochester, New York. We had Kodak. Kodak got a huge lawsuit against them from Polaroid because they ripped off a whole bunch of technology.
And Kodak instants are way better than Polaroids were.
Now, what about value-wise? I know that like Kodak did various things with the disc cameras and the discs and all that. Is there something out there that was a very short-lived process of photography or media or something like that just has value because it was out for such a short period of time? If you get what I'm trying to ask.
I do, and there's nothing out there necessarily that is in that realm that I can think of. You know, not a lot of things are valuable just in the photo world anyway.
Right.
Not a lot of things are valuable in the photo world just because there was a short run of it.
Okay.
Because it also has to have a demand too. A lot of the things that had a short run for a reason.
Right.
You know, you have to think of that. So that's what comes into play with that. Not everything that is rare is valuable.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just like not everything that's old is valuable.
Right.
I've got 150-year-old photos that I sell for $1 or less, you know, on a regular basis. Just because it's 150 years old doesn't mean it's worth a whole lot of money.
And that's interesting because, again, I come at it from the more the general ephemera, and before that I come at it from the comic book sports card area. So I come at it from a different viewpoint, their view, than you come at it from. So from my view, from the way that I look at it, this is a Polaroid made some change in 1972, so from 71 to 72 was just in this kind of paper, and then they changed it in 72. So in my head, that would have value but it doesn't because it's all down to what the view is as opposed to the process. And that's kind of an interesting way to look at it because, again, I'm coming at it from the numbers standpoint. That was only out for 1 year.
I started off dealing in sports cards and comic books. Back when I was in my teenage years, I was actually setting up at shows selling comic books and sports cards. So I'm really familiar with that frame of mind too, you know. But photographs and ephemera, it's a whole different monster.
Right.
Yeah, it really is.
Right.
And that's where the subjectivity comes in because there's no price guide to photos. There's no price guide necessarily to antique and vintage photographs unless it's a mass-produced piece that, you know, yes, I can say there have been 13 of this sold in the last year and they're averaging in this price guide, in this price range. Then you have a set price in mind. You know what it's worth. But when it comes to just random snapshots and random photographs, it's worth someone's willing to pay for it.
How about negatives?
Negatives, I generally don't do a lot with negatives just because, and it doesn't mean that they don't have value. It doesn't mean they don't have value. It just, I don't like dealing with them because they're so much harder to display and sell. I go for stuff that I can show the image. You know, in a photograph, you see exactly what you're getting. A negative, I have to reverse it. I have to go through a lot more steps to give them that positive image to see what they're getting.
Right.
There are people there's a whole realm of people who collect just negatives. So there's a market out there. It's a market I steer clear of.
Can you actually make the pictures?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay, so that would be
You can
what
actually
they would
make the
do with them
pictures.
is make the picture back and then sell the
Yep,
copies.
you can make the pictures out of it.
And we got to
they would
wrap.
be considered second or third state photos.
Right, I
They
was just going to go.
come into
We have to
different
wrap
states.
up over here. We have 3 minutes. So I did want to ask you, one of the big things that is happening now in a lot of things, especially sports photographs and celebrity photographs, is type 1 photo.
Yep.
Can you quickly explain what a type 1 photo is and how you can tell a type 1 from
A type 1 photo is generally going to be the highest quality photo of that image. Now, most type 1 photos will be directly from the original negative, and it's got to be within a certain time period of when the actual photo was taken. I don't remember whether it's a year or within 2 years of the, I think it's 2 years from the time the actual image was taken and the negative was made, and it has to be made directly from the original negative. So other than that, if it's not directly from the original negative and within 2 years of the photo being made, it's not a Type 1 photo. And Type 1's always more valuable than any of the others.
With one exception. And that was the story that I sent Vintage this morning. It's a Lincoln piece made in 1897, I think it was, from an 1860 something. It's going to be going for $1 million, but you knew who the...
Yeah, I know the photographer and the printer, so yeah, that's why it's worth so much. And the original for that, the very first original photo of that image would probably be worth more.
Okay.
So
I guess it all is relative.
So the real Type 1 would be worth more. The very first one
relative.
made of that would be worth more.
All right, definitely want to thank him for his time. I know we've got somebody else coming up over here on the train. So real quick, when are you over on Whatnot?
I've got a show coming up on Tuesday. I'm back from the Allentown Paper Show, and here's some stuff. So my next show is Tuesday, and then I have another one on Wednesday. Tuesday, I think my show's at
6, I think.
is my Tuesday show in the evening.
Well, you better figure it out.
I don't know off.
Just bookmark
You
them
guys
all.
just showed up.
Yeah, just
I don't
bookmark them.
know.
You're kind of the most important person to run that show. I'm just saying.
I'll be there. Whatever time it is, I'll be there.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Make sure you follow Vintage View Antiques on Whatnot. He's